Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, my boyfriend and I went to see The Whale. That performance is one of the best performances I've ever seen. I think it'll go down in history as one of the best performances ever done. I felt that the film wasn't necessarily as good as his performance. Can understand why it didn't get nominated for Best Picture or Best Adapted Screenplay. At the very beginning, we had the Golden Globes, and it was Colin Farrell who won, as well as Austin Butler. And the BAFTAs were a trip, because no one that won the SAG Award won the BAFTA. I think Austin Butler did an amazing job in Elvis, but I wouldn't necessarily say I had the same emotional response like I had with either Colin Farrell or Brendan Fraser. More so with Brendan Fraser, but we'll get into that. It's not really Colin Farrell's fault, it's just the role they each played. You can tell that he really loved that character, and, flaws and all. And I saw something with Darren Aronofsky recently where he said he had a conversation with Ellen Burstyn when they were filming Requiem for a Dream. And he had referred to her character as dumb. And she said, no, she's not dumb. She's just simple. And there's a big difference. And that kind of opened his eyes as, when it comes to directing actors. And it is so obviously true when it comes to acting. You have to really love the character you're portraying, even if they're a serial killer. You have to find something in there that rings true, or something you can at least champion a bit. I think in the past 6 years there's been an amplification of hate, and it hasn't been the most optimistic society that we've been living in as far as getting along and different sides and point of views, and not really trying to understand, just more arguing and feeding more into hate. And that's one of the things that I think is so incredibly special about Charlie and also Brendan Fraser. Brendan Fraser says a line in this film to his caregiver, and he says something along the lines of, do you ever think people are incapable of not caring? And there are certain lines like that throughout the movie that I feel like, because we know from an outsider's perspective, of course, we don't actually know Brendan Fraser, but like what we've seen, we know his story. We've seen him in interviews, and I don't think he's like playing it up either. Like I hate when people say that, like, oh, he's playing this card up to get the Oscar. No. Brendan Fraser's emotional range, just mostly through his eyes. The man he's portraying can barely move. He's around 600 pounds. There's so many different elements to his personality that Brendan really nailed. You can tell he's an incredibly intelligent human being. You can tell he's incredibly compassionate. You can tell that he loves his daughter, even though she's a terror to deal with, like a teenage terror, to put it mildly. He does have a lot of regrets in his life. It's such a raw performance. It's such a genuine performance. And the fact that he has all this prosthetic makeup on, and, they did some CGI work, obviously. They can't just rely on a fat suit and, the prosthetics. But the fact that he has all of that on, and you just see his soul, like you see Charlie's soul, you see Brendan's soul through all of that, and it pierces your heart when you're watching it. Every scene that he's in, whether it's opposite his caregiver, his daughter, the pizza delivery guy that you never see, it is just such an intimate portrayal of a person, and his vulnerability is just, it's mind-blowing. I really can't praise his performance any higher, and I love that his career is back. I grew up with him. Early adolescence saw him in The Mummy, and he was always just so enjoyable to watch. I'm just so happy for him, and I wouldn't say that an actor deserves an award just because they're a nice person. I don't believe in that at all. This is the film that really is showcasing how incredibly talented he is, and I'm so excited to see what we get from him moving forward, because I'm sure he's going to be getting calls off, like ringing off the hook. I'm sure he already has been. Thank you so much for watching. Next week we have an Oscars chat live stream. It's going to be me and Max going through everything Oscar related, and I hope you join me for that next Wednesday at 8 p.m. If you like this video, subscribe, like, and thanks for stopping by.